What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. I am your humble host, Fox. Today we're going to make our way through Anne Orlando, and hopefully we'll get through a majority of it, if not all of it. It depends on how well things go. Sometimes Anne Orlando can be twitchy at best. There are some pretty tough little tight spots. But first of all, shout out to Styx1209. Hopefully, the previous episode was a huge help to you, sir. Or ma'am, however you identify. But hopefully, you were able to get everything you needed and wanted out of that previous episode to get through Sen's Fortress. But anywho, let's get to it, shall we? We are going to start off by, almost forgot, going human. Be a shame if we were not human for probably the highest invasion area outside of the DLC. Still to this day, even with the game being close to 12 years old total, I think. I think the game was originally released in 2012, maybe 2011, but obviously the remaster hasn't been out that long. That's only been about 7 years, but you know, gotta keep it up. Let's get to it, shall we? I'm gonna start off with heading back to the big boys that we passed by in a hurry last time, just to make our way to the bonfire to make it a nice clean cut episode. So we're gonna start off here and doing a little farming off of these fellas. That's a nice little chunk of XP. Get us kind of rolling. Oh. There we go. There's the shot I need. Gotcha. And I think for this fella, just to save ourselves some agony, we're just gonna hit him with a big one. Alright, and we've already witnessed one mimic out there, so we're gonna make sure that we check all of our treasure chests from here on out. Make sure that we don't get attacked and eaten. We got ourselves a nice Demon Titanite. Once again, to recap, Demon Titanite are for upgrading boss weapons. Now, I have no intention of utilizing a boss weapon in this playthrough. I am going to be sticking to my rapier and my magical abilities. So, if you want to look into any boss weapons, depending on your playstyle, I would highly recommend for you defensive tanky users to consider utilizing the Dragon Slayer Spear. It's one of the longest weapons in the game. It doesn't hit very hard comparatively to some of the other ones. However, its reach is monumental, as well as its attack speed. It is quite the game changer for a lot of players who do tanky builds. If you are more into the agility builds, I would recommend the Chaos Blade or the Quelaag's Fury Sword. Just a couple of names to kind of go by, and well, kind of really throw it at you. The Quelaag Soul can go into a couple of different weapons. That was the second two that I mentioned. The first one I mentioned would require the Soul of Ornstein. Right. Anyhow, do a quick little check. Okay, so we're good on this one. Twinkling Titanite, so that'll upgrade special weapons. And check this one. We have ourselves a mimic. He's a liar. So we're gonna do some free casting, get a couple of free shots in. I hit the wrong spell and I paid the price. That's what I get. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pop this real quick. Go human. Go back to the other side and get our stuff back. But anyway, continuing the explanations. So we got our tank builds, our agility builds. If you're more into less flashy weaponry, what? Huh. Interesting. I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, that prism stone completely wiped my brain. So, yeah. If boss weapons aren't really your shtick, because there is quite a lot of them in this game, maybe perhaps consider doing dragon weapons. Most of them are ones that you acquire from removing the tail off of the dragons that are throughout the game. Oh, that's where I was gonna go. If you know, like bleed buildups are more your thing, I would recommend utilizing perhaps the lifeblood scythe. It is one nasty tool. It, however, has a serious drawback. It builds bleed to you as well as your opponent, so it's kind of a double-edged blade, if you will. But it is very, very devastating to your opponents that have the ability to bleed. And that would be Priscilla, the half-blood princess, whose soul you would need for that one. Let's deal with a little gargoyle here. Coward! Haha, you have wings. Good try. Any hoozles. So we're going to start off by hopping down into this little category here, because there is a little secret chest back here. And do a quick little check. Yep, not a mimic, but it is another demon titan. So definitely loading ourselves up for maxing out a boss weapon the moment we get it, because Anne Orlando is the home of the giant blacksmith who actually makes the boss weapons. So, anyways, once we grab that little bonus chest, so you can either take this set of stairs down or you can hop off the other ledge, because the way we need to go is up this buttress. So also, when you're heading up the buttress, be careful, keep your camera down, because it can, strangely enough, snag on one of these arches and can occasionally yank your camera off to the side, causing you to walk off. So be a little careful about that that jaunt. Ooh. He hits hard. I hit harder. Now, if you are an agility user, this is always a great spot. If you have a longbow, gives you a huge advantage on these fellas here. Unfortunately, I do not have that advantage, so I gotta do this the old-fashioned way, unfortunately. Now, if you are trying to complete any of your achievements, this is a mandatory item. This chandelier holds a magic spell, so just hit the chain, breaks it off, and the next time you make your way down there, you will actually be able to obtain that spell. Ooh. Oh, I'm dead. I didn't see him throw the knife. We may need to just take off our ring for a brief moment just so we can get through this part with the possibility of throwing knives being a pain in the patootie. So let's go ahead and use our one humanity, go back to being human again. I apologize for anybody who hears a strange chomp or crunch in the background. That is my dog. She is currently chewing on her nails. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take off our ring for a second. We're going to boost our poise to slightly give us an advantage against any of those fellas. So hopefully we won't stagger as easily. I forgot to equip our new spells that we got from Logan. Next bonfire, I'll have to remember to do that for us, so we can really crank up some damage. Because we now have access to the Soul Spear. Carry you. Take care of you. Haha, got you that time, punk. And just as another subtle reminder, be careful about walking past some of these arches. Much like the previous arch, your camera can actually strangely get snagged on those and cause your camera to rotate, causing you to walk off the edge. And no, you will not survive the landing. Period. End of story. So, if you thought that was a thing that you could survive somehow, you won't. Unless you have Featherfall. I think it's Featherfall. Slowfall? I forgot the actual name of the spell. Wait a minute. Is that even in this game? I'm actually drawing a blank. That might not even be in this game. Oh, silly me. But anywho, that is neither here nor there. Take a quick tumble over here. Another tumble through here. Because we're going to grab ourselves a little potion. No, I already know that this one's not a mimic because of the chain. Divine Blessing, that's what it's called, not a potion, I'm sorry. Roll back down to here. Yep, those are definitely feet. Moving on. Go ahead and come through here. And we already killed the fella that was protecting these steps, so we're just gonna run on through and go through our little bug door. Alright, now, there is a little surprise about this turnstile, so be careful of that fella there, because once you get down to him, he's going to attack you. So, get your spells or your shield ready, and after the cutscene, it's go time. Oh yeah! Alright. Ooh, we got 3 items out of him. How lucky are we? Alright, now, a little unknown thing. We're gonna crank this lever one more time. Because this can go even lower and give us a very interesting bonfire. Now, why is this bonfire interesting? Well, because if you can figure out the puzzle to this place, there's actually a secret boss behind that statue. It requires a very specific item for you to be wearing. If you wear that item and stand in front of this statue, it will disappear and reveal a boss door. Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. Let me make sure I say the title right of that one. Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. This is in reference to Gwyn's oldest son, who was banished. It boosts the damage of miracles only. So we're going to head back to... Actually, we're going to keep this going. And I think we'll take a quick rest, tune some magic for ourselves really quick. Alright, so we're definitely going to erase this set and give ourselves more great soul arrows. And instead of this, we're going to equip our soul spear. And yes, we will continue using the Great Heavy Soul Arrow, and we're going to now level up our attunement a little bit further. And I think we have a couple of soul bank items that we can use. Oh yeah. So I'm going to try and get us one last soul attunement slot from the soul bank items. There it is. And now we can attune our magic shield back on. Alright, let's get moving. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the wolf ring. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, we're just gonna crank up our spell cost, or our spells again. Because it's gonna get a little thick with enemies. But luckily we'll be able to deal with the majority of them, just from the sheer amount of spells we have. entering the part where we will maybe, even still to this day, probably get invaded. Bit of a pain in the patootie, but I'm sure we'll make it work just fine. Just try and draw in one at a time. Since we are a mage, we don't want to try and deal with something ridiculous. We're just gonna have to make this a quick attack. Oh my, I almost died. There we go. If you have magic abilities, it's best to creep forward to try and get max range on these guys. Because if they do get a jump on you, they can mess you up. They hurt. Alright. Here we go. Tough little spot right here. We gotta deal with two imps at once. So we gotta be very careful about how we approach this. Well, we lucked out. They didn't throw any lightning bolts at us. Woot woot. Alright, and sprint for your life, because we got two big meanies with some serious firepower. If they hit you with one of these arrows, well, you might not die like I would, but the arrows actually will send you flying. So it's always best to go for the one on the right first, because the one behind us is actually blocked by a tower, so we have some protection behind us. We can take out him first, and then we can go to the one behind us. Alright. And the only reason why we would want to do this... Ooh, sweet, Dragon Slayer arrow. The reason why we want to do this is because there's a very potent hero soul here. So that's 10,000 souls right there. So, you know, one of those things that if you're still low on levels, it might not be a bad choice to exercise a little caution, try and take care of him, and grab that one item. We're going to come over here, back to where we killed the first one. We're going to take a little tumble, and go through this fog door here. Make a quick little jaunt to this first door on your left, and have ourselves a little sit. Now, as I did say before, I was not going to follow... Oh no, I think we've been invaded. We have been invaded, folks. Because I cannot sit at this bonfire. Well, we got some traveling, folks. And yes, every Dark Souls enemy feels the need to be a cocky little douche. So you'll have to get used to players feeling like they're superior to you, when a lot of times it just comes down to the fact that they'd had a different connection. That's why I don't take the PvP very seriously in this game. I usually accept the fact that I'm probably going to lose. And not to mention, there's so many people that will use the silly tricks to just slip by or ruin it, make it so it's not like an actual fair fight kind of deal, which is fine. Strategies are strategies. You can't hold it against anybody. But, oh well, it is what it is. And he simply did just fess me. I wasn't prepared to take and deal with that, and that's okay. I forgot to go human. Well, oh well. I'll just make sure I go human once we get back up to the tower. Save ourselves a spell real quick and just slip by him. He was spooling up the lightning bolt. Did you see that? He almost got me. So let's get running. So we're not going to deal with the one on the left this time because we already got the soul bank item, so it's not a big deal. So we're just going to go straight for the one on the right. Wait for this arrow to pass, and maybe. Oh. Wow. Oh! Well, that's a bummer. I lost all that humanity. C'est la vie. I do want to make myself a little lighter, so I am going to get rid of this and lightweight. There we go. I'm gonna head back to our pretty little dress here and make ourselves lightweight again. Okay, so I do have 8 of those. Hopefully with me keeping, I'm trying to keep all my deaths in this game, so you guys see that even people who do play this a lot, they still make the goofy mistakes, and they get killed, and they lose, and they even lose all their souls and stuff. I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that count out all the issues or all the mistakes, because I'm not perfect, and I definitely don't want to be perceived as such. So, I want to make sure that you guys experience it the whole way through with no real major issues. It is what it is, nothing to it. Beat your head on a couple of walls. Show the game that you're not going to let it beat you. You just keep trying. Honestly, this game is a pretty interesting example for life too. those certain situations can beat you down and make you want to give up, just because it wasn't easy and you had to work a little bit for it. But at the end of the day, when you finally do succeed, you keep trying, you keep working hard, practice. Eventually, you're going to succeed, and you'll be all the better for it, and it'll feel amazing when you achieve your goal. Ooh, that was close. Oh, yeah. What? Wow. And sometimes Dark Souls will just Dark Souls you. Just completely blow your mind and do something like that. That's what I get for not holding up my shield. That'll teach me, huh? It's kind of strange. For some reason, it's like I can't seem to wrap my head around how much cognitive power it actually takes to sit here and play this game, but also maintain some level of dialogue, for you guys listening, utilizing this for just putting some on in the background and hearing it go and drown it out, right? It's strange how much it actually affects my ability to play this game, because normally I don't have any kinds of these issues, but because my attention is so divided, I actually seem to struggle here and there, which is crazy, refreshing, but crazy. In fact, it's kind of making me enjoy this game a little bit more than I used to, just because it's hard again. I mean, this game hasn't been hard for me in years. And, it makes me, as I'm sitting here thinking about like what next to say, I'm making silly mistakes. Case in point, with that little poke that I did with the with my rapier just there. I mean, that was meant to be a spell, and because I was focused on thinking about what I was trying to say, I didn't even realize I didn't switch my weapon. And I almost forgot to switch my spell right there. If I didn't happen to be thinking about the weapon, I probably could have just gotten myself ended by these fellas. Well, yeah, it's very strange that, like, I mean, it's definitely gonna take me some getting used to have the ability to focus on these two different things, especially with Dark Souls taking as much mental power to make sure that I don't make the silly mistakes like getting shot in the face at point blank range with a giant arrow. I mean, it's like, I'm wowed by just how strangely difficult it can be. Okay, now that I'm finally here, and as I was saying before, I got invaded and everything went to poop. We have reached Solaire and Sigmaier's next step in the storylines. However, I am not going to follow them any further. At this juncture, I want you as the players to be able to explore this and see what you can glean from their storylines. So, I hope you the best for tracking down whatever is to come of this. And I forgot to give us an extra. See, my brain's so scattered trying to think of talking. I forget little things like I was gonna kindle this. Goodness gracious. But anyway, if that one player, the pyromancer, ends up constantly invading us and just griefing us, I am going to stay as an undead just so we can get moving with the storyline. So, just a heads up. Alright, it's not a mimic, and voila, sunlight metals. Great for the Solaire storyline and any of you holy builds. Allows you to get some lightning spells, some stronger ones, I should say. Now, I am going to show you guys a little secret area. Find this fireplace and give it a little tumble. Because down in here is where you can find your own set of Havel the Rock gear. But, bum bum bum, we have a mimic to deal with. Problem solved. And we got the Occult Club, which is great for PvPing. So, and all of these treasure chests are going to be real. So, now I know I've been, checking every single one of these, but the reason why is once you've played through the game once, you will always know where all the mimics are. They don't change places. So I actually know which ones are mimics already without even going near them. But want to make sure that we teach you guys at the same time as, doing the chill playthrough. Make our way up these stairs. Take a quick little peek in here. Take care of Fancy Man there. And any of you magic users out there, this is a great moment for you. Because we're going to take full advantage of our balcony here and let him have it. Now, obviously, if I die before claiming it, it'll be a demon titanite that he drops. So, just like always, and the possibility of the titanite, demon titanite catch pole, which we already have. So, moving on. Got a mimic on the road. And these coins here, silver coins, are great to hand off to not Sigmire, our lizard friend back at Firelink Shrine. He'll give you quite a bit of souls for them. Another mimic, scare him as well. Framped, that's his name. His name is Framped. And same with this gold coin as well. Giving him the gold coin will give you a nice little dose of souls as well. Bum bum ba-doo. So in this area, it is always advised to definitely proceed through these doorways with caution, because there is plenty of baddies that will take advantage of really craptacular situations, like that one. Oh, thought you had me, sir, but no. Know your place, my friend. Know your place. We're going to continue our way up here, and we're actually going to beeline to this fella first because he is an archer, and he will definitely make fighting the next couple of guys horrifically miserable. And before we go any further, we are going to progress through this stairwell here. Ah, poop. I was really hoping. Oh, yay. Reaper's back. How nice of him. I at least got the important thing done of opening up the shortcut. Both of these are real chests. I'm just watching over my shoulder in case our little visitor friend comes to ruin my day, which he absolutely will. So, any hoozles. And there's that glorious lag that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, unfortunately, there's that connection again, and he is obviously going to say that he's better. But in fact, it is too hard to say who is good and who is not when it comes to this game, due to the connections. So, again, don't ever allow it to demoralize you, because it means nothing, especially with these connections. So we're going to stay as an undead to prevent the griefing, because he apparently has nothing better to do besides be a pain in the patootie. So we're just gonna make our way through, recollect our things, and move on. Now, we've already wasted enough of our video today on silliness and being invaded by the same person, so it's kind of a bummer. So we are going to make our way over here, take care of these two fellas. Oh man. Okay. Now, while we were invaded at the last time, I'm sure you saw the thing come across the screen. That our black eye trembles. So this is where we will utilize our black eye to avenge our firekeeper. I believe you only have to take care of the guilty party. I don't think you have to take care of all of its members. Just him. So, that is our primary goal. The guy that we freed so many episodes ago, we are now ending for killing our Firekeeper. Oh, well that works. We accidentally killed Valtruck with the Soul Spear as he ran behind the individual, and, well, as you saw, it went through the first guy and hit him. So, hooray! Lucky us. But it is what it is. Okay, and now... yeah. Now comes the fun fight. So we're definitely going to need ourselves a full 100% shield. So we're going to definitely take our crest shield, I think. And, yeah. Here we go. Now, whoever you end up killing first, you will get the other's soul. So if we take care of Big Boy first, we get his soul, and vice versa. So if you want the spear, make sure you kill Ornstein last, the smaller of the two, the one with the lance. But we're not worried about that, we're just worried about survival. Oh, goodness. And as you can see, it can be a bit of a pain when they split up. So the biggest thing you want to make sure you don't do is what I just did and split them up. Because the moment you lose track of one, it turns into a very bad day. So I think what we are going to do, I think we might just sprint past our two big sentinels and just go straight to the boss. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sprint past them. Ooh. Curses. I might have to actually stop thinking and just win. But we will continue to muscle on. No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip that ring and say no to these spells for now. Yeah, we're going to do that until we get a little bit later where we can acquire a much stronger catalyst. We're going to use this. We're going to increase our damage resistance, our carry capability, so we can get back to this and still have our lightweight. Oh, not lightweight. Ooh, need to fix that. That's not good. Let's see. Did I do it? There we go. Close. Not quite there. So. Gonna sprint by one more time and try and take care of the boss. Ooh, hello. Well, looks like we're taking care of Smile first. That's not at all what I wanted to do. There we go. Alright. One down. Unfortunately, we took care of the easier of the two to handle in this fight. Well, here's a nifty little exploit. I'm not gonna argue this. Looks like we just got easy mode, guys. Well, there you have it. We got very lucky and turned a poor situation into a positive. Hooray us. We got our Leo ring and we got Ornstein's soul, giving us quite a hefty little toy to play with in the future if we ever so decide to use the Dragon Slayer spear ourselves. And one last thing, because we took care of the glorious, well, inglorious Knight Lautrec, you can actually acquire his armor set in this back corner. The only way to get it is if you take care of him through the Black Eye Orb. So now we have the Embraced armor set. Woot woot. Alright. And just because we're going to use our 3 hero souls, add 130,000 to ourselves here into the levels. So, la-da-ta. Alright, so we're going to add this to 50. So now we have reached the soft cap. Anything past this on intelligence is diminishing return. So we're going to continue to dump this into attunement until we've reached level 50 on that one as well. So it's a good spot for now for that. And you know what? We got just a few moments left in our episode today. We will show you what we have fought for. We have come all this way to open up a treasure chest for the Lord Vessel. Princess.
Thou hast journeyed far and overcome much, chosen undead. Come hither, child. O chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father his form did obscureth, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lord vessel to thee. And beseech thee, succeed Lord Gwyn, and inheriteth the fire of our world. Thou shalt endeth this eternal twilight, and avert further undead sacrifices.
Well, there you have it, folks. The daughter of Lord Gwyn herself has given us blessing to take down her father and end the curse of the undead. Now, with that, we have now gotten the ability to, fast travel. So, we are going to reverse our hollowing, and we are going to fast travel back to Firelink Shrine and return our glorious Firekeeper to her rightful place. And with that, make ourselves feel like we're back at home once more. We have avenged our Lady of Fire. So you come here, examine, and return that one Firekeeper soul. And now, she actually has the ability to talk.
Thank you. I am Anastasia of Astoria. Now I can continue my duty as a keeper. But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend.
And as you can see, it did take our Firekeeper soul, so we do not have any more to reinforce.
Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak.
And yes, you essentially heard that right. So she is from Astoria, much like Oscar and Rykard. But because she is considered an undead, she feels herself impure, and she had removed her tongue so she couldn't speak. But for now, we will bid you all adieu, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. We are on a road for 500 subscribers, so maybe we can do this as a more permanent thing and a more regular thing down the road. But, so please, sorry to add this in, but please, I know it's such a killer, and it breaks my heart to say it, but if you could hit that subscribe button, you would be doing me a huge favor and helping me get to a state of being able to do this more regularly. But again, I bid you all farewell and good night. Thank you for joining me.